What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XCN today, OnyxCoin. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, my friends. Let's get into it, okay? Here we are on the 18th of February, sitting at about 2.14 cents. Went a little bit lower than anticipated, right? We've discussed about the possibilities of going lower. My expectation was that we would hold 2.2 cents, or if we were to go below 2.2 cents, we'd go just below it. We've gone a little bit below this, so this is outside of what I expected personally, but that's okay, right? I'm not going to be right every time. Can't be right every time. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again, my friends. This will not be the last time that I've been wrong. So anybody out there that's throwing some shade my way because I haven't called the last 24 hours correctly, oh boy, you've got a lot. If you stick around, I promise you there will be plenty of times that I'm wrong. It's going to happen, okay? Stick around. You'll have more shade to throw at me, I promise. From a low to a high, golden ratio found support here, went all the way up to your 236. This is a really good look, you guys. This is why we got excited. Generally speaking, when you bounce off your golden ratio, you go above the 382. You interact with the 236 like this, you normally go above. But I shouldn't even say that, because when you interact with the 236, it gets me excited. But when you interact with it like this, that should have been a sign that we weren't going lower. Maybe not this low, but lower at the very least, right? You rejected off the 236, an area that you're looking to break above. You had a very bearish candle close down, and you continue to find resistance at the 382 area and progress down. It's very possible right now that while you did find support on the golden ratio and you're finding support in the same area now, it's very possible we could bounce up, but it's completely possible that we could also work our way down to the 786, 886 area. Oftentimes when you interact with the golden ratio once, you find support and you bounce, but the second time you go through and you find support at the 786 to 886 zones. So the targets of about 2 to 1.955 cents are on the table, right? Now I remember talking about this. I remember talking about the same thing back here, right? And we were talking about moving up, but I didn't expect it to be that much, at least as fast as that happened. That's why we got so excited. But I know we were talking about moving up, but we were definitely talking about the possibility of seeing this happen, go to the 786, go to the 886, right? We looked death in the face here, though, and we said we're going to pump right now. And it did, but I didn't expect it to pump like that, or let alone pump like that and then come all the way back down here. I'm getting crazy here with all my words, man. What I'm trying to say is it would make a lot of sense for us to go to the 786, 886 zone. But the last time that I said that, we pumped, right? It would make a lot of sense now to go to the 786, 886 zone. Might we pump this time too? It's very common on the second attempt with the golden ratio to go through it. It is. It's very common. And even back here, a lot of cryptos recently, they've gone right through their golden ratio and just go right to their 786, 886 zone. It's likely to have happened either time, but it didn't happen this time. Might it happen this time? It's possible. If we look at the 4-hour RSI, we're getting higher lows here. We've got higher highs, relatively speaking. We're ping-ponging between the 60 and the 40 areas, kind of. If we were to go lower here, we'd probably get into the oversold zone, or at least bounce off of it. And that could be a positive thing in itself, I suppose. But I feel like any lower prices might look bad on the 4-hour. I don't know. Okay, so lower prices wouldn't look bad on the 4-hour if it was an XCN wick. If we went down to the 786, 886, and then wicked all the way back up here and closed, even if it closes red, then that would not get us to the oversold zone. So that would actually close us right around here. So that makes sense, actually. So the way that I would logically think about this, or at least ideally think about this, would be that the 786 to 886 areas, if we go down there, we would not close down here on a 4-hour basis. We would interact with this zone in a wicking kind of formation. Okay, we'd wick down, bounce up, wick down, bounce up, whatever it is, all in the same candle. That's my thoughts. Okay, and when I say bounce up, I mean we'd close back around this area. The candle itself that takes us down here and then wicks could close red, and that's okay as long as we're closing around this area. Of course, this is all hypothetical, theoretical. We don't know if we're actually going to go down there, and the 4-hour, it doesn't necessarily suggest that we go down there, but it doesn't necessarily suggest we go up either. It's at a point where it needs to make a decision, and it could make the decision to the downside. The 1-hour time frame certainly looks like it wants to go lower. The 15-minute time frame also looks like it wants to go lower, so it's not in good favor for us right now, at least on the way of the RSI. So I'm going to call for that. And what I'm grateful for right now is the fact that I'm calling for a downward call, because if we went through, to be fair, most of my downward calls in this range, they've been more accurate, but I feel like most of my downward calls, anytime I call for the price to go lower throughout this whole move, I would say over half of the time I've been wrong. So I'm very encouraged by this look and by all the rationality that I think I have that assumes that we would go lower. This is one of those moments that I really hope I'm wrong. I don't really hope I'm wrong. Like, who cares? If it goes a little bit lower, who cares? It's not going to be a big deal. But anytime I think the price is going to go just a little bit lower, it's circumstances like this where we actually just rip. So I'm hoping for that, but I'm still calling for 2.033 cents to 1.955 cents, something in that range, okay? It's like 1955 to 2033. I don't know. Somebody that was born in 1955, if you're watching this video, 2023 might be your number, man. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to put that out there, but hey, man, the numbers are there. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, 2.142 cents right now, probably going down to 2 to 1.95 cents, somewhere in this area. Okay, and then from there we'll bounce and we'll see the prices go higher. I very much believe that XCN is going to bounce at any given moment, guys. It could happen right now because I'm calling for it to go lower. I do not believe that this week is going to close red. I 100% believe this week will close green. And I'm very confident that by the end of the month, let me, before we get there, by the end of this week, we will not just close green, but we'll be above 3 cents. By the end of this month, I would assume that if we're not at new all-time highs, we're at least closing our month above this weekly high here, above 3.6 cents. But likely we're above 4 cents. Likely we're even above 5 cents by the end of February. When XCN moves up, it only knows one pace. Even at these slower paces, it's a pretty fast pace, even compared to this, right? These upward moving areas in 2 weeks, you know, just relatively speaking, from a low here to a high. If we moved up 53% in 2 weeks, you know, from the low to a high, 1, 2 weeks from there, 53%. I mean, that would only put us up to about 3 cents. So I guess that's not actually a good representation of what I'm going for. But I don't think that that's going to happen, right? I don't think we're moving like this. I think we're moving like this. I was just trying to make a point that even on these smaller ones, we're still moving up at a good pace. It didn't line up with the time frame I was looking at, to be completely fair. But still, I don't care, man. If we move up 6 weeks and it takes us this long to make this movement, I'll take it. Any upward side is good, right? Especially consistent movements like this. But I think it will be more pronounced than this. The reason for that is not because I want to see that, not because I'm cherry picking, but because these readings here in the RSI, you came off of the 40 areas. These readings here, you've been in the overbought areas. Relatively speaking, these readings, if you were to get back into the overbought zone, if you were to see readings up here, you would see moves that are compared to this, not compared to this. Okay, so that's all I'm trying to say by that. Ultimately, by the end of the month, we'll be at new all-time highs, or not new all-time highs, new relative highs, and then pushing our way higher, probably toward all-time highs, if not around the all-time highs, right? I would expect by the end of this move in March, we are at a minimum at about 10 cents, just below 10 cents there at 9.7 cents at a minimum. At a maximum, I could see us being at about 25 to 27 cents. We get that target derived from this high here in March of 2024, that high to the low here in August of 2024. You get the 3618 to the 3786 zone right there at about 20 and a half to 26.3 cents, somewhere in that zone. That's our maximum target. I doubt we go to this next level. I don't doubt we go to that next level at all. By the end of the cycle, you guys, XCM will be worth multiple dollars, like $2 or more is what I'm thinking. 245 is the specific target area. But this target now, while it's off the table for March, we could see it in April, May, June. You know, we could see it over the coming months that follow. But I would think that 26 to 20 and a half cents is the maximum kind of targets of this range. We're at 2.1 cents now, so that gives us an over 10x potential from here. The minimum target is about 9.7 cents. 9.7 cents. Why can't I talk? And that gives us about a 4x, almost a 5x from here. So that's not bad however you cut it, right? I do want to offer, again, that same perspective that we really could find resistance at 14 cents. And the reason why I think we could is if we go all the way back, you can see that you found support. Wow, that was weird why it did that. You found support right here, and you found resistance right here, basically at the same area of about 14 cents. So you could find resistance right there. And my reasoning for that, beyond just this semi-insignificant price action, it is significant, but semi-insignificant, I would say. The reason for that is that 14 cents, at 14 cents, anybody that bought, any person, I'm going to delete all these lines. I didn't realize I had so much. Any person that bought below this area here has 100x. Now, most people who invested in XCN, they do not have They did not buy here, right? They did not buy at these areas. But this is a daily time frame. There were weeks, there were months that we spent below these areas. The smart money, the people who are lucky, the people who are just speculating and trying to diversify, the people who just saw a random guy on YouTube say XCN, your next 1000x potential project, because that's whenever I made those videos. It was either back here or back here that I talked about that, right? Even back here you had that. There are probably people that bought down here that have sold along the way, that have taken profits along the way. Maybe they sold all of it, maybe they sold some of it. There's probably people that bought down here that haven't sold any of it. And even the degens, like myself, who bought in these areas, that didn't sell any of it at all yet. You know, aside from some short play moves, but that was stuff that I bought. I didn't buy down here my short play stuff, right? The long-term stuff I haven't sold. Even the degens are going to take profits at 100x. They are. And I don't know how many are still in the 100x race, right, from down in that area. But if we were to go all the way up to 14 cents, that would give anybody that bought at these very low levels that 100x capability. And that could be enough to provide resistance, right? Could be enough to trigger some sell events. But I'm only addressing it not necessarily because I think it's going to happen, but if we only focus on either 9.7 cents to 10 cents, if we only focus on that, it's either that or 20 cents to 26 cents, we could miss a perfectly reasonable, logical number right there in the middle, which is 14 cents, okay? One last thing before we go, I want to address something that a lot of you guys were bitching about in the comments, was my regards to the white paper. I'm entitled to my own opinions. You're entitled towards yours. But you don't got to be a shithead about it, okay? Whatever. I don't like the white paper. It doesn't mean I don't even not like it. Those are your words, right? I said that I think the white paper is decent. I compared it to a movie that was probably good. It was probably a decent movie, but the crowd hyped it up, made it seem like it was the best thing ever. You ever go to a movie that you have high expectations for? It's the worst. It was probably a good movie. If you didn't expect much out of it, it probably would have been a good movie. And that's all I'm saying about the white paper. I didn't hear a lot of people say this, but there's people in my Discord and other YouTubers who I've heard have read the white paper, and they said good things about it. I read it and I was like, what are the good things? Like there's some good things in there, but it wasn't like this revolutionary, mind-bending thing. And that's all I was trying to say earlier. I'm not saying that there's something fishy. I know that I used the words fishy earlier. I know that I said it is a little fishy whenever you take out the tokenomics, right? And it is fishy. I don't know why does any crypto project, why am I not as an investor entitled to know your token distribution? I don't like that. I can still like OnyxCoin and invest in OnyxCoin and not like every single thing. I'm not going to, metaphorically suck the D of the OnyxCoin DAO and just like everything that they do. I can have disagreements, and that's okay. And I can still have disagreements, and this is my biggest bag. Anybody thinking that I am dumping on you guys, you're giving me and holding the price back. I'm the reason why OnyxCoin is dumping. You're giving me too much credit, man. As much as I would love to, first off, I wouldn't love to dump on any of you guys, but as much as I would love to be in a position where I could fluctuate a coin that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars in market cap, as much of a flex as that would be, and it's a compliment that you even think I have the capabilities of manipulating something like this in the top 100 cryptos, when you think about it, it just doesn't make sense, right? I'm not at that level. I'm not a 100 millionaire, a multi-billionaire, right? That's not me. One day, but it's very, very kind and flattering of anybody to think that I have anything to do with the price of OnyxCoin at all. All I have to do, I'm just the weatherman, right? The weather's going to happen. I'm just reporting it. That's it. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like what I have to say, but I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are anyways. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Haters, you know what to do. Lovers, I know you got my back. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.